not in Kansas anymore.
You have my curiosity.
Are you telling me you built a time machine?
The Force will be with you. Assemble.
Hello, and welcome back to the Get Real podcast, the podcast where we get real about all our favorite pop culture films and TV shows. I'm Chris, and with me is my bounty hunter cohort, Sam.
This is the way.
This is the way.
I am so bloated.
So am I. Like, I'm feeling it more.
We smashed like a full of Chinese before we started recording this.
Oosh.
And what a terrible decision that was.
2 boys, 2 Chineses, and 2 episodes of The Mandalorian right before the take.
So this week, we're going to be talking all about season 1 of The Mandalorian. I finished it a few days ago, and Chris, you've just sat and watched it with me.
Just watched the last 2 episodes with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before we touch on that, we're going to cover off some news this week because we think we can manage to fit some stories in. Last week we struggled a little bit because there was a bit too much to talk about with the Rise of Skywalker, wasn't there?
That had too much to digest. I still haven't digested it, much like the Chinese.
So do you want to start off with a couple of bits and bobs?
Yeah. So, first thing I saw today is Cats. Everybody's favourite film this holiday season, Cats, is on track to lose $71 million.
Ouch.
At the box office.
That's
and have you heard that by the time this has come out, it's probably already got like a soft re-release, like they're releasing a new version of it, because the last one, the special effects weren't finished on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that what it was? Is that why everyone was kicking off?
No, people were kicking off because it looks horrible and weird and disgusting, but there's like plain as day shots where Dame Judi Dench just had a human hand with like a wedding ring and everything on.
Oh.
Because like they didn't do any sort of like motion tracking or anything on set. They didn't wear like the little tracking dots or anything or any sort of clothes to represent it. They just wore like leotards and like dancing clothes type thing. So they've done it all in post, but because they've not done that, like things have slipped through the cracks.
So I've not seen it, but it must have looked cool because from the trailers and stuff, a lot of people said it looked a bit weird, right? Because of the faces and stuff, but I thought it was meant to like look pretty good CGI wise.
Yeah, the fur looked pretty good, but
once I suppose you're watching a whole film, it's really different, isn't it?
Yeah.
It was a bit jarring. I've seen some videos.
Mark Kermode said that they look more like monkeys and mice than they do cats.
Well, that's definitely one I don't think we're gonna go and watch.
No.
But
monkeys I can see. Human faces, furry bodies.
It's only a 71 million to pull back, so
only 71
pocket
million.
change.
Also, talking about box office, flops or not, this is Frozen 2 is now the 3rd highest grossing film of the year.
It was always going to be though, isn't it?
Like, I didn't think it was going to do that well though, because since it's come out, like I've not heard anything about it. You heard about the first Frozen for about 3 years after it came out. Like, all day, every day, it was Frozen.
That was a sensation, wasn't it?
Yeah, like
Let it go.
This one seems to have come out, and clearly it's doing well. Everyone's going to see it, but you haven't heard as much about it. You haven't heard the songs on the radio or anything. So I was surprised that it's now the 3rd highest, considering the films that we've got this year.
Yeah,
with Captain Marvel, Joker, Endgame, Rise of Skywalker, and Frozen, and Toy Story 4.
Probably the time of year as well, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
where
definitely.
People are taking the kids and stuff and watching it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad that it's doing so well, but it just took me by surprise. So it's now overtaken the original at the box office as well.
Yeah.
But that might just be the original, maybe not the re-release of the original with sing-along and all that stuff. I don't know. Zachary Levi, do you want to go ahead with this one?
He said, where's he said this? He says he wants to play Dash Rendar, who is from Shadows of the Empire. He was like a Han Solo-y kind of character from that series, wasn't he? A bit of a scoundrel.
Yeah. He later became, he wielded a lightsaber and stuff like that. I don't think he was a full Jedi.
No, he was like a bounty hunter type, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he got a lightsaber in one of the games.
Oh,
yeah.
I think it's a little bit before our time. I think that game, isn't it?
I've seen bits of it, but
yeah.
I think I've read one of the comic books back in the day. But yeah, he said if I was going to join the Star Wars universe, he would love to play Dash Rendar. which I could totally see.
Would you
Zachary
see it
Levi.
as his own film, or would you see it as maybe like a cameo in like season? Well, it depends on where it is. Whether he's like in season 2 of The Mandalorian or something.
I could see that. I could
Spoilers:
see that.
he's not in season 1 of The Mandalorian. So
yeah, this is the exclusive drop. Big spoilers.
but would you see his whole thing, or would you just like him as a cameo?
No, I'd like to see a lot of him. Like, I like Zachary Levi, especially after Shazam. Like, he's a charming guy. He's funny. He could play Dash Rendar really well.
Yeah,
I reckon give him a series instead of Cassian Andor.
yeah, that's what you were saying before, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's my 2 cents.
Well, you know, it might surprise us. Might be quite cool. I mean, I liked him in Rogue One. And it's an interesting time to be looking
Diego
at.
Luna's a
isn't
great
it?
actor. So, and then final bit of news that I've got. Oh no, not the final, because we've got some Matrix 4 news after this as well. So Ryan Reynolds has confirmed on Live with Ryan and Kelly that Deadpool 3 is currently in the works at Marvel.
So this is going to be the new saga or whatever, isn't it? The new era.
Yeah, this is gonna.
So
I don't know if it's still going to be R-rated, but
I think it can't not be. You can't have like 1 and 2 be R-rated and the third one not be R-rated.
yeah. Well, I feel like he could also maybe play around it, like, because he does break the fourth wall. He could joke about it, like every time like something that would be hard R would come up, like it's like heavily censored, and then he's joking about the fact that Disney's censoring him.
Do you reckon
Would be
that's going to
pretty
be
funny.
how they tie in the X-Men into the Marvel?
I don't think that's how they're going to tie it in. I think this might happen afterwards, because at Comic-Con they said that Fantastic Four and X-Men are in the works later on down the line for Marvel. So, but they didn't say anything about Deadpool, so it's sort of up in the air until Ryan was clearly asked about it on Live with Ryan and Kelly. And yeah, he has confirmed that it's in the works. He said the full team's working full speed ahead on it, so we might end
Cool.
up getting that before the X-Men, we don't know.
Awesome.
But this is the first confirmation that we've
They've
got.
been really quiet about all the new Marvel stuff, really, haven't they? I know we've got Black Widow.
Black Window.
It's because I'm looking into a window that's behind you. It's just pitch black outside. Black Widow and what else has been
I missed that
confirmed?
episode of Black Mirror. Black Window.
The Eternals.
Yep, this year is Black Widow, Eternals.
Well, next year.
Next year. Yeah, it's not quite the new
Well, it
year
depends
yet.
on when this is coming out. When this comes out, it'll probably be 2020. We're
Yeah,
recording this in 2019.
Yeah, we're talking to you from the ancient past. From last decade.
From New
We
Year's
recorded
Eve
this
to
last
Eve.
decade. 3 Marvel films coming out every year now. What is it?
You've got all the Disney Plus stuff coming out, haven't you? Which is going to
Yeah.
fill a lot of the gaps. They're probably going hard on that, particularly now after how well The Mandalorian's been received versus, like, you know, the split view on Rise of Skywalker. They're probably going to put a bit more of a focus on that now. But yeah, we got those anyway. So other little bits and bobs. Little small spoiler for Rise of Skywalker if you've not seen it yet before the end of 2019. Just skip ahead like 30 seconds. It was confirmed that the planet right at the beginning where Kylo Ren is fighting is Mustafar.
Ah, yes, I did see that.
Yeah, it was confirmed. Don't know why it looks so different, but where he finds that Wayfinder, that is very much Mustafar.
I don't know, because when you see like the top-down shot, well, not top-down shots, but the shots of Mustafar from space in the prequels, like it very much looks like the whole planet is like volcanic and stuff, doesn't it?
Yeah, but when he's
how are
landed, it's a
trees
bit...
growing on it? I know
Well-
the trees are burned, but
Well, it's a bit like how on Endor, when they go to Endor, there's the water and the cliff sides.
I
and
think
stuff.
that's been said that that's not actually Endor. That's a different moon of Endor that they go to.
Well, anyway, you know, it's a planet.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at our planet.
Yeah, true.
You know, deserts, and you got half Tatooine, half, you know,
Yeah, true.
bit of bobs. And then Deadline put out 11 movies that shook up the film industry in the 2010s, so over
Okay.
the last decade. So I'll fire these a couple off at you and see what you think. So they've said The King's Speech.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bridesmaids.
Don't know how it really shook it up.
Yeah.
Then again, female-led comedies since then have boomed, haven't they?
Yeah. The Untouchables, which was French cinema, just did really, really well. A bit like The King's Speech.
Fair enough.
The Invisible War. I've not seen this.
I recognise the name. Let me just search it.
Come back to that.
Yeah.
The Avengers 2012, the original Avengers.
Yeah.
It's weird to think that was in the same 10 years.
Yeah, in 1 decade, we've had 4 Avengers films.
Yeah. Zero Dark 30. That was 2012.
Yeah.
Moonlight and La La Land. They're both really good films.
Yeah.
Get Out. I've not seen any of these films.
You've not seen Get Out?
I've not seen Get
Get
Out.
Out.
No. I've not seen Us.
I've not seen Us yet.
How am I doing this podcast and not seeing these films?
Yeah. I mean, Us hasn't got the same reception as Get Out did. Get Out is fantastic, though.
And then you've got Wolf Warrior 2. This was a
Wolf
a
Warrior
boom
2, and why have I not seen that? Of
It was a boom in China, apparently.
course it was.
Black Panther,
Yeah.
obviously, and Roma.
Yeah.
Roma was a Netflix film, right?
In the UK, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Swept all the awards last year, didn't it?
Yeah. And then also, the last thing probably before we start talking about Mando, I don't know whether you've seen this, Looper reported that is Brie Larson really Lucasfilms' top choice for Ahsoka Tano?
Brie Larson. I've seen Rosario Dawson.
I'm going to turn my iPad around and show you a photo of Brie Larson as Ahsoka Tano. What do you think?
That looks pretty good.
This is brilliant
from
podcast
afar-
content, but
From afar, yeah, it works, but I
Yeah.
also think they've only just like put her eyes on it.
yeah, I mean, credit to Looper. If you want to go check this out, go over to Looper's website, type
Yeah,
in Brie
I could
Larson,
see that.
Ahsoka Tano if you're into Star Wars. I mean, you got to be into Star
I
Wars
would-
listening
I
to
would-
this, but
I just remembered what I thought I saw was a spoiler. So this is not a spoiler for The Mandalorian because it doesn't end up happening. But I saw.
well, is that not a spoiler if it doesn't end up happening and people are thinking it's going to happen?
Well, no, because it was just a news headline like that.
Oh, okay, go on.
I saw that Rosario Dawson might have been playing Ahsoka Tano and possibly in The Mandalorian.
Wasn't it going to be the person that voices her?
Not
sure.
Ahsoka Tano in Rebels.
Love this live Googling that we do.
Yeah. It is Ashley Eckstein.
Yeah,
voices
that's
her
it.
in Rebels.
That's it. But she also could probably get away with acting her as well, like in terms
Possibly,
of visually, yeah.
The Matrix 4. Let's
Okay.
not forget about that.
Yep.
So, obviously, we know Keanu Reeves has been cast in it. And it's coming out the same day as John Wick 4 at the moment.
Whoa,
So it's
what
Battle of the
Keanu
Keanus.
Day? When's the release? When's the actual release? It's going to be forever embedded as Keanu Day.
Yeah. I've not got a slated release date so far,
Well, to be confirmed.
but that will forever be known as Keanu Day.
Yeah, we're gonna get cake and celebrate it.
And Black Manta, I don't want to butcher the name, but Yahya Abdul Mateen II, the guy that played Black Manta in Aquaman,
Yeah.
has been cast in the film, and rumours are that he is playing a young Morpheus,
Whoa.
which I could definitely see. Trinity is confirmed to be back. Also, Neil Patrick Harris has been cast in it, apparently.
Oh, he's not been in a lot recently, has he?
No, but also seems like a strange choice for the Matrix 4, but who knows? So that's the end of the news that we got for right now.
The news that we've got for right now, official name of the segment.
Yep.
The news that we've got
The
for
news right
now.
now. The
The
news
news-
when we're recording this podcast.
The news that we have got for right now.
Yeah.
That'll do. Okay.
Outdated news, probably.
So Mando season 1.
Yes.
Again, as usual, we'll do non-spoilers and then we'll talk spoilers. It'll be in the description of the time code.
Yes.
The time code will be in the description, even wrong way around. But yeah, so you've just finished watching it. What
About
did you think?
20 minutes ago.
Yeah, thoughts?
Pretty damn good. I liked that I binge watched it. So I watched episode 2 to 6 all in one go
Mm-hmm.
while I was wrapping Christmas presents on Christmas Eve. Sat down, beer, treated myself, and then I watched episode 7 and 8 with you just now. As a little short film, like watching it all in one go, like I thought it was really nice, like nice little piece together. Like if I had have had to wait each week for it to come out, I maybe would have been like, just give me the next episode, because they are only half-hour episodes.
Yeah, well, this is good because I watched it that way. I watched every episode the week it came out, so I was
what
waiting.
did you think waiting week to week for it?
I think it was probably a bit. I don't know. It's tough. It was parts were probably a bit jarring because it did feel like the first few episodes was setting it up, and then it was kind of Mando goes off and does his thing for 3 episodes, and then it brings it back. And obviously that's just to fill out the season, but it almost felt like a bit like is it procedural? A bit like if you watch The Flash or Arrow or any of them, and you'll get like your first couple of episodes and your last couple of episodes of a season will be your big plot points, and then there's filler. But I did think that the filler bits in between were amazing.
Yeah, still great.
I don't think there was a single episode of it where I felt like it was slow.
No?
I think all the Deborah Chow episodes were killer.
Yeah.
I thought the last episode was really killer.
Yeah. Directed by Taika Waititi, the last one.
Yeah, and I think it was good that a lot of them were about half an hour because it meant that there wasn't like these lulls during the episode, like it was always kind of moving on a little bit. And yeah, I think it was really good. I think the characters are all really good. I think the music at the beginning was one of them where I don't know what was it. You're always expecting Star Wars music, you know what I mean? So when you heard that da 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 da, and it's a bit like, it almost was a little bit cheesy.
It felt a bit more like a Western, that music to me, though, which worked for The Mandalorian. It did feel a lot more like a Western in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, parts felt a little bit Indiana Jones, like with musically at parts as well. But yeah, I think now that I've got to the end of the season, I think it's an ace soundtrack.
Yeah.
Like
that. Gets stuck in your head. Whenever you see the Mando doing something, you're thinking that music in your head.
Yeah, and I think it just makes it really cool. I think it, because of obviously him being a bounty hunter and stuff, I think it might have been a bit weird to have like normal Star Wars themes and stuff in there. I think it'd probably be a bit jarring, but yeah, no, musically it was really good. I think I really enjoy it because it's like everything that we would have wanted from like a Boba Fett series or a Boba Fett film, if you was to imagine getting that. Obviously it's not Boba Fett, right? That's already out there, we know that. But I think that it's everything that you would want from something like that, because the characters are extremely similar.
Yeah, it's just like like you said, a Boba Fett series with a character that you don't know everything about yet. And you don't start to understand everything about him until towards the end of the series. And I still think there's a lot more to uncover about the character in future series.
And also, considering, like, obviously it's a lot lower budget than a Star Wars film, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
It looks absolutely sweet.
I think they were really smart with how they did it. Like, visually, it looks great. You were saying to me, it looks a lot more Rogue One. And it does.
Yeah.
Especially the way the stormtroopers are used within the series. Looks a lot more Rogue One. And it was a lot more sort of like boots to the ground, like you got like in with the action type thing. But they were smart with the way they did it. Like a lot of the season and stuff takes place in like one town essentially, which is why it felt like a Western to me. Like, and because they were able to do that, they could probably conserve money and like get really acquainted with how they're shooting that one place.
Yeah.
That when they did have to do something like big budget or sci-fi or like spaceships flying around and stuff like that, like it looked like a Star Wars film. It looked big budget, so they probably, obviously, the Lucasfilms, they got infinite budget, really, haven't they? But
yeah, like you think back to that first episode, right? And you get a little bit of everything, don't you? You get a little bit of aliens in the bar, you get a little bit of a monster, you get a little bit of, you know, spaceships and stuff, space. You get a little bit of all sorts. You get droids. You get a lot in the first episode. That was an hour as well, like the last one. It's just absolutely packed. And I don't think there's anything that's done half-assed. I think everything's like done properly, 100%. Yeah. I mean, where would you sit this between The Mandalorian and, say, what we got in The Rise of Skywalker?
Where would you put it between them?
Yeah, what
which
do you
think is better?
Yeah, what did you kind of enjoy more? And don't give me the answer of the two separate things, and they are. I get that, but which one have you enjoyed more this year as like an experience watching it?
Probably Rise of Skywalker, because I'm more related to the characters. Like I've been with these characters now for what, 4-5 years since Force Awakens came out.
Yeah,
like so that was like a capping off of everything that we know and love about Star Wars, whereas Mandalorian was something new. It's still great, but it wasn't really enough to satisfy my complete Star Wars craving as opposed to Rise of Skywalker. I think if it came out a different year, say if it came out next year or last year, it would have been totally different. Like, it would have satisfied my Star Wars craving.
Yeah.
But because we got Rise of Skywalker as well, I thought it was great. Where do you rank it amongst like the shows? So like Clone Wars and Rebels and stuff. Did you prefer it to them?
There's a lot of moments in this where it feels like live action Rebels.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of like the story beats and stuff are quite similar.
Yeah.
Clone Wars, again, I felt was really procedural. Like I tried to really like binge Clone Wars, and just ended up really like struggling to get through it. So I'm not actually up to date on it yet.
No.
Kind of know everything that happens in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, very much more like Rebels rather than Clone Wars.
Well, Clone Wars is told out of order as well, so it's a
Yeah.
bit harder to understand
Yeah.
like the timeline of everything.
Yeah, I don't know. I think like from experience, I think like a bit like what you said with Rise of Skywalker, you've got all the characters and stuff set up where you've got expectations or you've got what you want to happen, and obviously with Mandalorian, it's brand new, so you don't have that risk of like, well, you do, but not as heavily being disappointed by something.
Yeah. This almost felt as well like a beginning of its own almost trilogy. I reckon we could get like a nice tidy 3 seasons out of it.
Oh, you only think 3 seasons, maybe?
No, it's got the potential to go further.
How many do you reckon it'll go though?
I could imagine 3 series at the moment, and then judging by what those 3 series do, then they might consider to do more, but I think they would be risking pushing it past 3 seasons at the moment.
I think depending on how season 2 goes,
Yeah.
I think if it follows the same kind of pace as what season 1 has done, I'd like to see a lot more.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, if you just get you know, like a bit like this, where you have your kind of context building episodes in between.
Yeah.
I'd probably quite like to see like maybe 5, 6 seasons.
Okay.
Give it a full like Game of Thrones, Walking Dead level go. That'd be pretty cool. That's a box set I'd buy anyway.
Yeah. 5 seasons of The Mandalorian.
5 more seasons.
That'd be a nice Christmas present, that, getting a 5 season box set of The Mandalorian.
So what did you
Binging
think of like the Mandalorian itself then? Like the
Pedro
character?
Pascal as the Mandalorian.
Pedro Pascal.
I liked him. Like, he felt like what a Mandalorian should be, like cool, calm, collected, bounty hunter. Well, obviously they're not all bounty hunters, but this character was a bounty hunter. Like you said, it felt a lot more like Boba Fett. Like, it felt like what you would expect from a Boba Fett series, like a bounty hunter, a Mandalorian.
Yeah, I don't think we need like a Boba Fett film or a Boba Fett anything now. I think the Mandalorian's filled that gap and also nicely introduced like a lot more new characters.
Yeah.
And with him being a new character himself, I think it makes that universe feel a little bit bigger rather than making it smaller.
Mm-hmm.
And that's nice. That's nice, that. Carl Weathers, you know, all that kind of stuff is really cool.
Yeah, I think the supporting cast was really good in this as well.
Yeah.
Gina Carano,
Yeah.
that played Cara Dune. So she was in Deadpool as well. She was great in it. Like, I don't think there was any sort of wasted character in this, really.
No. And is it Giancarlo Esposito?
Yeah.
Who
from
is Breaking Bad. He's ace.
Yeah.
We won't talk too much about his character until we get to the spoiler bit. But
he carries himself, though.
Yeah.
Like, he chews the scenery in his episodes.
He's cold. Cold,
so
man.
good.
He's cool.
Then
you
else is it? Richard Ayoade.
Yeah, you had
as
that
the
episode
droid in that one episode.
You got
was
Bill Burr.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that was just packed full of actors, that episode.
Yeah, Bill Burr as well.
Bill Burr, you had Clancy Brown,
Yeah.
Richard Ayoade. You had Mark Boone Jr. from Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
And then you had Natalia Tena. She was the Twi'lek character.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I was thinking when I watched it, I couldn't remember where I knew her from, but I knew her face underneath all the blue makeup.
Yeah, it was proper packed.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously, you know, you got the IG droid, IG-11, not IG-88.
By
Taika Waititi.
Brilliant, who directed the last episode, like we said.
Yeah. And I really like that character. There's not much you can talk about it, but the arc that he has is really cool.
Yeah. And I didn't notice. I said to you, I didn't notice. Like, I knew it was Taika Waititi, but I couldn't feel Taika Waititi in him until the last episode, and then it felt a lot more Taika Waititi-esque, I guess that you could say. You could hear the New Zealand accent coming out a little bit in the final episode.
Yeah.
Whereas Richard Ayoade's droid, he played like one of the bug-eyed ones.
Yeah, like one of the old school.
Yeah, like he was just Richard Ayoade put into a robot, like same mannerisms, same voice, everything.
What did you think of Carl Weathers' character? So he played what's the name? Grief Karga.
Yeah, Grief Karga. So he was in 6 episodes. Like, to begin with, like, I really liked him. I thought he was like really good, and then to me, he got a little bit like one-dimensional in the middle type thing. Like a couple of his lines, I was like not really sitting with me. But then by the time it got to the final episode again, I was really enjoying him.
Yeah, there was almost like some cheesy bits.
Yeah,
where he was like, but I kind of like that.
It wasn't so much that it was cheesy, it just his delivery of the lines didn't really sit with me as well.
Yeah, but also it makes him really different to everything else that we get by having that kind of like old school actor, I suppose.
Yeah,
and the way he is and stuff. It just made his character a little bit more individual.
Would you like to see him team up with Arnie in season 2? Bring Arnie into Star Wars.
Go on,
Carl Weathers and Arnie in Star Wars.
What sort of character do you reckon Arnold plays? Arnold Schwarzenegger. What does he play?
Or Sly Stallone? Which one would you rather have?
No, let's do Arnold.
Let's do Arnie first. I reckon he could be like one of those devil horn guys that we see in the the jailbreak episode. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It would be pretty cool. Sylvester Stallone. Who would he play? So we've seen him in like Guardians and stuff like that.
Yeah, I maybe see him as like a Han Solo-y kind of like a bad one, like a bad scoundrel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe in some like armor like Sol Guerrera type thing.
Yeah.
So sort of like Judge Dredd almost.
Yeah, maybe like a smuggler or something. It'd be kind of cool.
Just get Carl Weathers to team up with all his former co-stars.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be cool if like Arnold was like a stormtrooper, but more like an elite one or something? Yeah. And then he, de-helmets or something.
That's what I was about to say. He doesn't wear the helmet.
Yeah.
I just had a brainwave. Did you see my eyes twinkle?
I did.
Expendables in Star Wars.
Oh God.
You just got like a rogue team of just.
I hate it so much already.
Think Republic Commando meets Expendables.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe.
Disney, give me money. I will do this.
Get this guy to write a 2-hour script of Expendables.
Tell me that would not be the highest grossing film of whatever year that came out. Expendables in space.
Oh my God. I think that's pretty much as what we can talk about without having to go more in depth about it, right? So,
1 to 10, what would you give it for season 1?
You know what? I gave Rise of Skywalker an 8 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
This gets a 9.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot less that I have wrong. A lot less I feel wrong about it. There's a lot more that I really just generally enjoyed about it. But I think that's like what I said before in terms of I think it was really easily to be disappointed by The Rise of Skywalker. This is new. It's different. I think it's honest. I don't know. I think it just does what it does really well. I think it's one of those things that even if you weren't a massive Star Wars fan, you could still go in on this and really enjoy it. Yeah.
Like I said, like it's very Western as well.
Yeah.
Like my granddad, like he likes Star Wars a lot. I wouldn't say like he loves it as much as we do, but he also really likes Westerns. I reckon he would love like it's what 5 hours in total. Like he would happily lap up these 5 hours of The Mandalorian.
And what would you give it?
I was thinking like 7 or 8. I'll probably give it an 8 now. Thinking of that, like it's a nice, concise, like 5 hours of a series. Characters all work, plot works, doesn't lull anywhere. Set dressing looks amazing, costumes look cool. Mandalorians, we get some cool lore about the Mandalorians as well that you didn't know unless you read all the comic books and books and stuff. So yeah, I'd say 8. That's pretty much what I gave Rise of Skywalker, didn't I?
Yeah.
Give it an 8.5. I'd probably give this an 8.
Oh, you give it slightly less.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So spoilers from this point on.
Yep.
If you're not up to date on The Mandalorian, make sure you switch this off. Come back when you've watched it all.
Go binge it all in one day.
And yeah, so here we go.
Spoilers.
Baby Yoda.
2, 1.
Oh,
Baby Yoda.
I did before the So yeah, Baby Yoda is a meme.
Baby Yoda. I feel like we could have mentioned Baby Yoda in non-spoilers because the entire internet's seen it. My mum's seen Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
My girlfriend loves Baby Yoda, and she hasn't seen a single episode of The Mandalorian. She just keeps sending me gifs of Baby Yoda.
I've seen 2 Baby Yoda pop sockets for phones already. It's mental. It's just everywhere. T-shirts and...
They should make a pop socket where it's like Baby Yoda is the phone case and the pop socket is his little hand coming out.
Oh my god, what a trick. So yeah, I just didn't see that coming in this. I just didn't expect that to be such like a leading part of the season.
No.
You think it'd just be totally like bounty hunter hunting down bounties and, you know, maybe this guy struggling to find out who he is, which he does throughout this, I guess, but for having like such a MacGuffin being Baby Yoda throughout the whole thing, it's really cool.
Yeah, so good. Like,
also ties in like Force stuff with it as well.
So Baby Yoda is Force sensitive. We find that out the episode after we're introduced to him right at the end.
Oh, he's totally always going to be Force sensitive. It's a Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
It was never not going to be Force sensitive.
Like, that was so cool as well. Like, the moment where we find out and he just lifts...
It levitates that
mud horn.
Yeah. That mud horn reminded me very much of Attack of the Clones in the arena.
Yeah, the tri-horn one in that.
Yeah, there's a bit where he where the Mandalorian hits his... It's like a cable, isn't it? And it attaches to it and it gets dragged, and it's like the exact... It's like a mirror of what happens with Django in Attack of the Clones as well. Yeah. It's really cool.
Yeah, nice little callback there. Didn't think about that.
You get Jawas straight away in episode 2.
I love the Jawas. I thought the Jawas looked really good as well.
Yeah, red-eyed Jawas. Yeah. They were cool.
And like, you got a bit more personality out of them as well.
Yeah, you get the culture a bit more, right?
Yeah.
So they're all
get
sat
to see
around.
inside the little dock inside of that. And I love the way it was like really low ceilings because they're all tiny. Like, it's a really small cockpit, and like the Mandalorian's like all hunched over, hitting his head around everything.
Yeah. You get a bit more of that whole like scavenger culture from them as well. Yeah. You know, where they just like absolutely demolish that egg. It's like the weirdest looking cream egg I've ever seen.
The egg. Yeah. Like, I was surprised by how funny this series could be.
Yeah.
Which I shouldn't have been, because it's Jon Favreau, and Jon Favreau just has a sense of humor. He can wind into everything, especially with Taika Waititi as well helping out.
And you had all like the IG-11 self-destruct bits in like episode 1.
Yeah. It's just like, oh, time to self-destruct.
Yeah, was that episode 1? Yeah, because at the end of episode 1 we get the reveal of Baby Yoda, don't we? So yeah, all that bit, that's AC and an IG droid. Yeah. Like the way it like spins around and shoots everything around it was really cool.
I thought the effect on it was really good as well. Yeah. Like, they had a guy performing it on set, obviously, and then like he would have been wearing like green screen leggings so that they could get rid of his legs, but like, it felt almost like a miniature or a puppet on set as well. Like, I think there was some shots when he was walking in and it was just the legs that I feel were practical. Like, you only saw it from like the waist down. I feel like that could have been practical, like, because the legs felt real and tactile on the dirt and stuff.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's ace, isn't it? I think there's a lot of stuff in this that does justice to things in live action that could be risky. Like the way an IG droid moves and what else do we get? You get some characters and some droids and stuff in there that you wouldn't know. Like, just generally the Mandalorians, right? We see them in Rebels and, you know, jetpacks and all sorts, and you think, oh, how does that translate to live action?
Yeah, it's easy to do in animation.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also really easy to do CGI, but a lot of it, obviously when they're in the air on the jetpacks, it's heavily CGI, I suppose, but a lot of it looks real. Yeah, a lot of it looks really good.
Jon Favreau tried to do as much practically as he could, I think.
Yeah.
Because, like, you can see, like, when they're taking off and landing at the beginning and stuff, like, you can't see the wires, but you could almost feel like the wires, like, they made them jump into the set and stuff like that. Like, it felt tactile, like, they didn't cut away to just show them landing. Like, they would show them, like, descending from the sky, like, shooting big turrets and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's not, like, whizzing all over the place. No. It's just, like, quite tasteful, isn't it?
It felt like how, like, a small little backpack jetpack would feel like. It's a little bit slow to get off the ground, but then you can whiz around once you're in the air and stuff.
So the Mando is a foundling. He's not actually a Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And we see like all the like Clone Wars era battle droids and stuff like that. So that was quite cool seeing all that.
Which was interesting because I'm gonna guess he's an adult at the end because it's just after episode 6, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna guess he was a child, probably roughly the same time Luke was. So it was just after. It was in between episode 3 and 4.
It couldn't have been. Well, yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, because if it was, that's during the Clone Wars, isn't it? So if that's during the Clone Wars, Luke's not born in the Luke's born at the end of the Clone Wars. So he's not
that's what I'm saying.
He's going to be a baby when the Mandalorian's a child.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like they were roughly the same age, so
but they can't be, because if you've got episode 3, right?
Yeah.
That is the end of the Clone Wars where Anakin turns to Vader.
Yeah.
There's no more droids. Luke is only born then. So he's literally a day old, right? So if you've got scenes of droids and stuff attacking, that's got to be between episode 2 and episode 3, when the Mando is like a 7-year-old or a 6-year-old or whatever.
Are there absolutely no droids left after episode 3?
Well, I mean, in the animated series, there's a couple, isn't there? There's a couple in Rebels where they're like, programming or whatever. They can't keep doing whatever they're doing. They're somewhat up with them, but you don't have like battle droids and stuff raiding places and stuff. So that would.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking it was like just after episode 3 where he was like 6-7 years old.
No, there's about
it would make him like 5 years older than Luke.
Yeah. I reckon in that shot where it's the flashback, I reckon he's about 7-8 years old in that.
Okay.
Because he's like a young kid, isn't he? He's not like a toddler or anything, but he's not like a young adult. He's just like a kid.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I'd probably say it's like
5-6.
I'd say it's like a 5-8 year age gap between him and Luke.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So he's probably he's older. Yeah, he's definitely older.
I forgot what point was that?
No, we were just talking about the flashback to see droids and stuff again, battle droids.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, and you saw the drop ships, the transport ships coming in and stuff. That was ace. What was your favourite episode of the season?
Probably would be the last one, I would say.
Yeah.
Episode 7 and 8.
Yeah.
They sort of like leave it on a bit of a cliffhanger, don't they?
Yeah,
like
I'd agree with that last episode. I think the last episode is definitely my favourite. There's bits that it touched on, like obviously the prison break scene. Prison break episode was really good. Second episode in was really good. But yeah, the last one was ace.
Yeah. I think when they went to that planet as well, where they met, is it Kara?
Yeah.
And they fight the ATST and stuff like that. That's cool. Like, there wasn't a bad episode. I just think 7 and 8 had like the coolest moments. We got all the stormtroopers. We got the TIE fighter with the Grand Moff in it. Yeah, Moff Gideon. Like, that was cool with the turret and everything. Big action set pieces. You could see how much of the budget went into those final 2 episodes.
Yeah, defo.
You got the flamethrower trooper as well with the gnarly red paint and everything.
Death troopers. You got all sorts of stuff in that last one. Yeah, you got the dark saber right at the end. Yeah.
See, I want to talk to you about this. So I was saying, like, last time we saw that, I think, was during Rebels. In canon, that was the last time we saw it. And Sabine gave it to the new Mandalorian.
Spoilers for Rebels if you've not seen it.
Spoilers for Rebels. This is like 2-3 years old now, this season that I'm talking about, is it?
Yeah, Rebels is way done now, isn't it?
So, and she gave it off to the leader of the Mandalorians. So how has he now got it? Was he a Mandalorian, maybe?
She definitely didn't keep it, did she? She definitely didn't keep it.
Sabine?
Yeah.
No, she gave it... I'm pretty sure... I was watching a video about the Mandalorians the other day, getting caught up ready for the Mandalorian. I'm pretty sure she gave it off to someone.
Yeah, so, I mean, there is only one dark saber, is there?
I believe there is only one in canon now, yeah.
Okay. But that's cool though, because there's probably going to be a reason why he's got it. Probably space for a Moff Gideon comic book or something.
Probably.
Yeah. But no, that was ace seeing that at the end. And that's one of those things that could probably look really weird in live action, but it looks really cool in person. It's just a black lightsaber with a white line around it, really, isn't it? But it just looks ace. Just looks really cool. And I liked how they kept that right towards the end as like your final little snippet before it cuts off and you see him break out his TIE fighter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that last episode is definitely the favourite. You've got a lot of like the little the scout trooper humour right at the beginning was really funny. That you thought it was Ryan Reynolds. It sounds a lot like him.
It sounded like Ryan Reynolds, like when he's doing his Deadpool, like in the mask type thing. Like it was his timing as well. It was just sort of like, go on, just show me.
If you go back and listen to that last episode, it totally does sound like it.
Yeah, I was trying to think like it sounded familiar, and I was like, who is it? And I was like, is it Chris Pratt? And I was like, no. And then it was just something that he said. I was like, that's the most Deadpool thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. We've not checked to see whether it was voiced in it, but it just sounds just like him.
So the Darksaber was last being held by Bo-Katan, who was now the leader of the Mandalorians at the end of Rebels. And then, so she is now the Mandalore, leader of the Mandalorian. And then this is on StarWarsFandom.net. This is an official wiki. And then it just skips to after the Empire. And it's like Moff Gideon has somehow acquired the blade.
Oh, okay. So there's going to be a tie-in somewhere there.
Because he also knew about the Mandalorian's previous name, where he came from, with obviously the Mandalorians being there on the planet to save him and stuff. So I'm going to guess there's history between the two, and I think that's where season 2 is going to go.
Yeah, well, there was a little throwaway line that they thought he was executed for committing war crimes or something, which is cool to think that the Empire, who is the big bad, would execute someone for... Oh, unless it's a rebellion that executed him for war crimes. Yeah. But he was
too much of a bad guy. Yeah. That even he, by the Empire's standards, they were like, let's kill this guy because he's real bad.
Yeah, he's a total badass.
Not even, let's lock him up. This guy needs to be dead.
Yeah, he's a total badass in it. Total badass. That moment where he stood outside and he's just really cold and calculated. And he says about Baby Yoda, he says, it means more to me than what you'll ever know.
Yeah.
Wonder what that means. Maybe he needs the healing powers, maybe something like that.
Possibly. That could be what the body armor is about as well, maybe.
Maybe it's not for
like
him.
Saw Gerrera as like the...
Yeah, maybe it's not for him.
Maybe it's not. Or maybe it's something to do with the species that he is, because we call him Baby Yoda because Yoda's species doesn't have a name. We don't know what planet they're from, I don't think.
Well, if we jump right back to when we first meet the client, and he's got that scientist with him.
Yeah.
That scientist on his arm has a Camino cloning symbol.
Yeah.
What the clone troopers, when they're not in armor, what they had on their arms.
Okay.
In the scene where you see him in like the cafeteria, that big massive cafeteria and stuff. So potentially they could have been looking at cloning him.
Possibly.
Because all that is part of that Moff Gideon's plan, because the client and stuff is obviously, talking to Moff and taking his orders and stuff. So
and that scientist tries to save the Baby
he has like
Yoda.
A big turn, doesn't he? Maybe.
Yeah. Trying to keep it out of the Empire's hands at that point.
Yeah, because he has that switch, doesn't he, where he's like, oh, I'm not trying to kill him, I'm trying to save him, or something like that, doesn't he? So, but yeah, interesting. Hopefully that's more, bridged upon more in season 2.
Because it leaves the plot line off that he is now in the Mandalorian's custody.
Care, isn't it?
Yeah, he's like a foundling now of him. Like, he is his protector until either he becomes of age or you can find his family or home planet.
I think it's definitely going to find his... I think the whole thing's going to be finding its home planet, maybe. Because
I think that's going to give canon finally to Yoda's background and what they're called.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's definitely something that's not been explored before, so it's going to be really interesting to see how whether they even do. Do you know what I mean? Whether they even do find Yoda's home planet or wherever his species is from. Or let's just say the child turns into a force wielding baby tiny Mandalorian.
Yeah. Imagine like Yoda sized, so it's like the size of a toddler in Mandalorian armor with the helmet with a jump pack, also able to do the force.
Flamethrower on his wrist.
What if he gets the dark saber at the end?
No, no.
It's like Yoda in Mandalorian armor with the dark saber.
He can't even hold the thing in the cockpit like a lever without nearly killing them both.
But I mean, like when he's older.
Yeah.
Like, say he's like 200 years old, as opposed to Yoda's 800 years old.
Yeah. So at the end of that episode on Tatooine, where we got the character that Mando comes across, that like wannabe bounty hunter, he's trying to get his entry into the guild. What did you think of him? I think a lot of people are a little bit like didn't like that at all.
Yeah, he seemed a little bit whiny, but the moment that did it for me was when he turned. Like, it made me feel like it was all an act. Like, he knew that he couldn't take out that female bounty hunter by himself, so he played the Mandalorian knowing who he was.
Yeah, did you not get proper Star Wars video game vibes from him? Like he was a video game character.
Yeah, kind of.
Like it really took me back to like Knights of the Old Republic level character arc. Like where there's this like guy and he's like, I need entry to the guild, and so why don't you help me with this mission? And then at the end of the mission, he's like turns bad on you.
Yeah,
it was very much like one of those, and his character was very
like
much
an NPC.
like that. Yeah, he was pretty much like an NPC. Yeah. But I don't know, I kind of liked him. Liked him. Yeah.
Like
he was a bit. There was something charming about him. Yeah.
Like it felt like that was how he was meant to be, and then it sold the turn a bit more.
Yeah.
Like as soon as he got the information that he needed, he was like, "Sound cool."
Yeah, I'm
bang,
off.
Bang.
Bam. But he got bammed himself.
Yeah.
Mando did a Mando.
Mando did a Mando.
And then right at the end of that episode, we got a potential Boba Fett. Apparently,
Fennec Sand was the bounty hunter they were out to get, played by Ming-Na Wen from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Mulan.
Yeah, so when they're over her body at the end, well, no, they've gone, right, and her body's there, and you see that little shot of someone going up towards it. Mm-hmm. So at first I thought it could have been Grief Karga, Carl Weathers' character.
Yeah.
Then I thought it could have been Moff Gideon, but why would Moff Gideon be there?
True.
So then it only leaves that it could have potentially been a Boba reveal.
Yeah, everybody seems to be hinting towards Boba reveal. That Gideon doesn't sound like a bad shout, because maybe he's trying to find the only other bounty hunter that potentially could have got the Mandalorian. Like, like they said, like she's one of the most infamous bounty hunters in the universe right now, or in the galaxy.
But why would he be tracking the Mandalorian at that point out in the desert and not just the child itself? Why not just tracking Baby Yoda?
Because that was after they sent out the hit, so everyone knows that the Mandalorian's got the baby.
Yeah.
So he might have just been going to get her and then found her dead, because they all have the trackers as well, don't they? But yeah, people seem to be thinking that it is Boba Fett.
That'd be a cool like reveal, say at the end of like season 2, when you've kind of forgot about it.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty.
It has
neat.
like a flashback to her body being scooped up, and it was Boba Fett, or she comes back onto the scene.
No,
and
she's
who's she with?
No, she's totally dead.
She's like picking up the body. Then, like bounty hunter would just.
Yeah, but
he's probably trying to claim the bounty, isn't he? Get the money.
Yeah, but doesn't he do that? Doesn't Mando do that? So, I don't know. Maybe he's just scavenging.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe he's just like smashed his way out the Sarlacc. Yeah. There is also
got a jetpack.
Yeah, there is also a story in canon where a character has Boba's armor from the Sarlacc pit. I've seen it. Yeah. It was Star Wars Explained.
Okay.
Put an episode on it. Or I'm fairly certain it was him that talked about it. That I can't remember the character name, but there is a character who's canon who dons Boba Fett's armor that's wrecked and digested by the Sarlacc and stuff. But
Okay.
so
I'll have
maybe
to read that one.
yeah.
Yeah, people are thinking it might be Boba Fett because when he's walking over the spurs on his boots are jangling, similar to how his does. So it's very much like a Western, like he was meant to be like Clint Eastwood in space, is the quote that I'm seeing here.
Yeah. Well, we'll
So-
suppose we'll see. What would you like to see in season 2?
More Darksaber stuff, because that's really badass.
Yeah.
That took me completely by surprise.
Mm.
Maybe some more, a bit older, like Yoda, like maybe he's 50 already though, and he's still a baby. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
well, they grow really slow.
Yeah.
So I don't
it'd have
think
to be a big time jump, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't think
just
we're going
wanna
to get that
see
much of a time jump.
Maybe his force powers progressing a little bit more. Or yeah, just more of the same, I guess. But maybe like a bigger plot, because this was quite a small, self-contained story. I think they were seeing how season 1 did, so maybe more episodes as well, but not too many episodes.
Do you reckon now that, because obviously he didn't realise that it was the Force, right? For whatever reason, he wasn't aware of that, and that gets explained by that forger in the armory, the armourer.
Yeah.
Maybe he goes looking for other Force sensitives,
Possibly.
maybe to find a way. Or I'd probably like to see in season 2. I'd like to see more now that we've seen a lot of like rural and Tatooine and deserty planets and stuff like that. I'd probably like to see something a bit more like Coruscant-y.
Yeah, the undergrounds of Coruscant.
Yeah, like Nar Shaddaa would be really cool, getting a bit of that. Stuff like the underworld, maybe.
Yeah.
And maybe that's how he has to go find, he finds intel and stuff like that. I think it'd be a nice contrast to the first season.
Yeah.
Maybe see some huts. That'd be kind of cool.
Okay, so the other sort of like
He's back in the
bounty
guild,
hunter
isn't he?
Peoples and
Greek Karga welcomes him back into the guild. So
yeah, some new environments would be nice instead of, like you said, a lot of deserts.
Yeah, well, Jon Favreau put out a little teaser. Did you see it?
No.
Of one of like a little character, which looked a little bit like a Gamorrean guard.
Okay.
So that'd be very cool. To get a
Was
little
that
bit.
for season 2? That teaser?
Yeah, he put like a season 2, like a filming month or something, or like a. I think he's put something.
So are they already producing season 2 now?
Yeah, it's already confirmed.
Okay, so-
It was confirmed before the end of season 1.
I knew it was confirmed, but I didn't know they had started.
Yeah, I don't know whether they've just started it or whether it's in process or what have you. But yeah, Jon Favreau put something on his Instagram, and it looks like a Gamorrean guard.
Okay.
So
Maybe like the Huts or a Rancor or something like that.
Yeah.
Seeing a Rancor would be cool.
Yeah.
Seeing the Mando go up against Rancor would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be ace.
It's just more of the same, but like on a bigger scale now.
Yeah,
I think.
build the
I think
world
we've
out.
tested the waters, but don't go too big.
No.
But maybe like, I think now that the stakes have been set, and like we've been introduced to the main characters going forward.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Cool. So, do you want to wrap it up?
Ooh, one more thing. Maybe a couple flashback episodes when he was with that
Maybe
gang pulling
it's-
heists and stuff.
Yeah, maybe you'll go through all his like foundling initiation and stuff. That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm more lore about the Mandalorians.
Maybe some
Mandalorians.
Moff Gideon flashbacks and how he knows Moff.
And how he got the Darksaber, I'm going to guess, is where the story's going to go as well.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Right, let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
So, in terms of where to find us, we are live on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can find us there at GetRealPod.
That's REEL.
Yeah, REEL for Film Reel, Get Real Pod. You can also get in touch with us via our email, which is getrealpod, spelled the same way, getrealpoduk@gmail.com. We are currently, as of when we're recording this, we're facing a couple of issues with getting episodes out across Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. It is on the way. It's just taking a little bit of time for us to get them on there.
Hopefully they all should be sorted soon enough.
Yeah, hopefully by the time you're listening to this, everything is all sorted. sorted. However, if you're listening to this way further in the future, where we've hopefully definitely got it all sorted, you will find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and hopefully eventually Google Podcasts as well.
Yes.
But you can listen to us in all those places. As a final, if you're struggling, you can listen to us via getrealpod.buzzsprout.com for a direct download for the episodes as well, if you're going on a flight or you want to listen to our lovely dulcet tones on there.
Yeah.
Cool. Next week, we're planning on covering The Witcher.
Yep, The Witcher is up next.
And then we're hopefully going to do a little bit of a roundup going into 2020 of all the films that we kind of our top 5, top 10
of 2019.
Yeah.
So please leave us a rate and review on all those previous platforms that we mentioned. Keep your ear out to the Twitter. We'll keep you up to date when we are live on all the other platforms.
Cool. Thank you very much, and keep it real.
Keep real. Thank you, and see you all next time.